It's Kristen David, and I am here with my online business manager, Erin Persinger, and we're talking about business planning. It is National Write a Business Plan Month, and so all month long, we're jumping on every Tuesday, doing a live stream. I'm super excited to have Erin on. We're going to talk about what it was like when she joined my team, when she first read my business plan, which I know many of you have wanted to see. And we're going to talk about the importance of planning. So, hey, everybody, stick around till the end. We got a special bonus for you all. We know how much you all want to get your business plan written and get feedback on it. So we have a special item for you. So, Erin, welcome. So glad you could join us.
Thank you. I'm excited to be here.
Awesome. Okay, so just explain to everybody, you've worked with dozens of business owners. You're an online business manager. You go in and help be kind of the administrator of sorts, help run a business as people are growing. And you've probably seen many different types of businesses, from organized to, well, rather a mess. Tell us about that.
Well, for sure. Generally, people bring me in because we're more on the mess end of things. So I come in and clean that up, usually is what happens with the business plan, the goals, the action steps to get where you need to go, and clear policies and procedures for your team, trainings for teams, all of that fun stuff is what I usually come in and handle for a busy business owner.
Yes. So I love it. You're talking my language: systems, policies, and procedures. Maybe that's why we get along so great. So we, one of the things business owners struggle with is sitting down and writing a business plan, but they all know the value. How about some thumbs up from all the people watching? And some comments about we all know the importance of a business plan, right? Everybody can say, heck yeah, a business plan is a good thing. But not everyone has taken the time to actually sit down and do it. So I want to dive in with you, Erin, a little bit and talk about what's in a business plan a little bit. And your impressions when you joined my team, when you first, I think one of the first things I sent you was our business plan. So you'd have an idea what we're doing.
Right, it was. I was really excited to come onto your team because you are so well thought out in your planning. So it was that was a great thing for me because, like I said, normally I don't always have that happen. So I was excited to see a very well put together business plan with good steps towards what we're trying to accomplish, right? Not even for just this year, but beyond this year. So I think that's important to look at your long-term and short-term goals in your business plan and how you're going to get there, because some business plans have a lot of holes there on how are we going to get there. It's great that we know where we want to go, right? But we also have to have a plan to get there.
So talking about mine, I'm pretty open. I share a lot about what I'm doing, and I make no bones about the fact that I'm building another multi-million-dollar business. And one of the things that I break down, so we use the 4 pillars of successful business management. So pillar 1 is planning. A little planning goes a long ways. Pillar 2, marketing, sales. Pillar 3, management. Pillar 4, those all important financial controls. You have a bit of a financial background, so I know you loved the financial part. Go ahead.
Yeah, I do. I used to actually be an accountant, and what I did was forecasting and budgeting when I was an accountant. So I was like a planning accountant as opposed to a tax accountant. So I loved when I came in and I saw those goals and those financial aspects of your business already handled, that you had already looked into that, and you have pretty concrete goals in mind. Well, very concrete goals in mind and steps to get there. And also on one of your things about your business plan that really impressed me was that your team, you were very laid out specifically on how you wanted to build your team and who we were going to hire by when. And you knew that the system behind the growth had to be there or you weren't going to succeed. And that's another hole a lot of people have. They don't realize that you kind of have to invest in your business to get it there. And you were very clear about that from the beginning.
Yeah. Um, I've helped, I mean, in no judgments, I've helped a lot of business owners build their business plans. And so it was always so helpful to see how other people have done it. And so that's what's helped me to be able to create a better business plan. And, as one of the Facebook users said, like, short and long term, get the whole picture, like understand, like, what are we doing? What are we building? And, but it also, another Facebook user says financials is a major foundation piece. Absolutely, Megan. It's, you've got to have an idea of like, how is this going to pay for itself? Otherwise, it's a little scary to think about hiring 3 more people and you have no idea how you're going to pay for them. That's not a good business plan. So understanding those financials, and that was part of what I think when I shared my business plan with you. It really does have, okay, here's what we want to do with marketing. Here's our goals with sales. Here are the people we're going to need to support that. And if we want to aggressively grow, here's how many coaches we need to hire. Here's how many people. I think we're now at 16 people on the team and 6 coaches. It's amazing how much we've grown. But I mean, you saw it as you came in. There's a lot more growth to happen, and we need to build those SOPs.
Oh, yes. And I think I told you this yesterday that I love SOPs, that's my thing. So I always, and I love the fact that you already have thought those out kind of, because you do have so many policies and procedures in place. So with yours, it was just a matter of kind of tweaking them for the online business, which was great because you've made my job easier. I also think too, with a business plan, that the goal with any business, we want to be proactive instead of reactive, and that helps us set our goals down so we know what we have to achieve, and we don't get behind, and we're not suddenly like, oh my goodness, there's the budget's too thin for this, or, well, okay, we see this goal, we want to make X amount of dollars, but how do we get there? What specific services do we offer? How much cost is going to come out of that? What are our expenses going to be realistically to meet that level of income that we are striving for?
Yeah.
And so
I love what you said about being proactive, because you've got to be looking forward. You can't just, as a business owner and as kind of the team admin helping keep everyone moving in the same direction, you can't be looking at what happened last week. You got to be always planning ahead, looking forward, and being a couple steps in front of it, so that when the team gets there, they hit it smoothly. And so it's an easy transition. Another thing that you said was talking about the systems, and they need to grow with you. And this was a discussion we had of, the systems that I had in place when I was doing $40,000 a month in this business last year when I first got started. Some of those worked fine at 40,000.
Right.
But, now that we're over 100,000, we've got the systems have to grow with you, and you almost have to break some of those things and rebuild them. And I know that's part of what you're helping a lot with is, we've just got more team members, and we now have different people being able to fine tune different aspects and building those systems out now and changing them up now that we've grown.
Right, exactly. And your systems are ever evolving, I think. Not only from the standpoint of your growth, but also the growth of tech changes. So I think it's something you really have to be on top of, your systems, and the plan feeds into the systems, right? So you want the systems that run your business. So that's kind of one of my big areas I always focus in on. The SOPs, which are the policies and procedures and the systems behind a business. That's really where I hit first when I go into a new business with any business owner. Do they have the good plan? And then is everything there to back up that plan, which falls to those systems and SOPs.
Absolutely. And I talk about all the time. Systems are what give us our freedom as a business owner. It's what allows everybody else on the team to do a great job and to build and to put it together. I wouldn't be where I am today without all the systems I've built. And Sometimes it was me on a couch drafting them, but where I could, it was swipe file. It's use what other people have created. That's why we have so many systems packages. It's like help business owners like get a head start, get 85% of it done. So all they have to do is fine tune it and move forward. So
exactly. And walking into that, like having that part completed is priceless, because so much goes into the planning and the bones of these systems that it's incredible, right? I mean, you know that because you've built them out, like hours upon hours of work that goes into the planning and the background before you even implement the first system.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's a huge perk for any business owner.
Well, and some of those things, things like so when you build your policies and procedures, it's all about, people used to ask me like, how don't they end up gigantic? And it's like you draft them and then you whittle them down, edit to like, because a new employee doesn't have time to go through 500 pages of stuff. Like it needs to be concise and condensed and yet readable so that even a temp could come in and know how to do that item. And you mentioned earlier about new tech. Like new tech means we've got to change the procedure and now it's done a little differently. Hopefully it's streamlined more in the big picture, but you got to kind of build that out, right? It's
right, exactly. Yeah, it's ever changing and ever evolving. So
we got a little love from Megan. She says having a specialist like Erin makes it so much easier to build and shift systems. Awesome. Thank you, Megan.
Thank you, Megan. But yeah, it's definitely something like you've got to keep moving forward and you've got to keep going. And the bite-sized nuggets, like I'm really a big fan of those. And you know this, of those bite-size. We go right to this file. Everything is templatized. Everything is super easy. You could walk away from your job for a week. You're sick. You're on vacation. And yeah, maybe someone doesn't have the depth of knowledge you have, but everything's not going to fall apart because you have that plan in place that's going to keep things moving while you're gone. And so I'm a big fan of that. Like everybody should be able to know business should revolve around one single person until it falls apart if they're gone.
Yeah. So I would love to get some interaction from the audience. How many of you are working on your systems every single month? Or do you have time set every week, every 2 weeks? Share in the comments, like how often do you work on your systems? I talk about them all the time. What do you think, Erin? What's a good cadence for working on their systems and their policies?
Monthly minimum systems, and you can't review every because if you go into a well planned out business, there should be depending on the size of the business, hundreds of policies and procedures, right? I mean, down for everything should be there in bite-sized nuggets. I mean, so I mean, I feel like it's a constant review process. Monthly minimum really for at least some portion, but all of those should be gone through on a quarterly basis at least. But I like to break it out so you do it once a month, so it's not like days worth of work. But and constantly in communication with your team too. Is this working? Is this not working? Does this need streamlined more? What are your pain points here? And I think that's one thing I ask your team immediately. Where are your struggle points? What's taking those time out of your day? How can we move this forward? And then of course, our number one concern is always client care. So we hit that first. So
I just popped another comment up there about this conversation has inspired me to get back to my business plan and systems. They need some TLC. Awesome. So yes, everybody, it's so worth doing. It's so worth building those up. And like you were saying, Erin, like you've got to be intentional and you've got to work on them. Don't let them all, pile up and think, oh, I'm going to have to get to this, because then it seems overwhelming. It's, part of writing a business plan is planning that you're going to work on your business plan, on your policies and your procedures, your marketing plan, your sales goals, like all those elements that come into it. So listen, I think this is a good time to share with everyone that we have a very awesome, popping the wrong thing up there. Awesome webinar coming up next Thursday on how to write a business plan in 60 minutes. And I'm so excited.
Yeah, it's really exciting. I know. That's like the foundation for everything. I feel like everything has to stem off of that. So I'm glad you're doing it.
Yeah. And even for those people, those business owners that already have a business plan, listen, guys, what we're going to do is in 60 minutes, jump on the webinar with me. We've given you a template, but we're going to walk you through each of the elements. And you can right there during the webinar be typing it in plain English. How is this business making money? What are some of the goals? What are you trying to accomplish? Will it be perfect? No. But will it be a refresh? Absolutely. And it's going to help tremendously. So for anybody that's interested, I'm going to pop into the chat. We're going to do this webinar next week. And for a special bonus, for anybody that is out there that wants to do this and wants to get some feedback on their business plan, we've got a special offer in honor of National Write a Business Plan Month. We will review your business plan with you and help you get it up and running. So if you're interested, we're here to help. This is all about our give back. This is all about helping business owners take control of their business. So, if you guys are interested in getting your business plan built in 60 minutes, I'm popping this into the chat so that you guys can register for this webinar. Join me. Let's get it done. And for people like you, Erin, I mean, I just, one more time, if you could just share what's it like to come into a business as a team member and be able to know that the owner has a business plan, that there's a clear direction, versus what's it like when you walk in and you have no idea what they want to build.
Right. I mean, that's an amazing thing because let's face it, if you come in and there's no direction, you're lost from the beginning. So I love it. I love that you had that finished. And I also love the fact that your business plan is called the Plain English Business. The business plan in plain English, I believe, is what our file is named out there. So I love that because it's not complicated. It's straightforward. It's so simplistic that anyone coming onto the team, you don't have to have a financial background. It's very plain and clearly laid out. So I love that about it. And yeah, like you said, like you gave me a leg up really coming into your business. And I firmly believe that businesses, even the best business, are going to reach a level where they can't continue to grow and scale if you don't have those plans in place and those systems behind it. Like eventually every business you will come to a point where either you'll work yourself out or you'll fizzle out.
Yeah. So true. Awesome. Well, yes, everybody. I mean, a big part of a business plan is to give the owner clarity, but another part is to give the team that confidence and the knowledge. And not everybody on your team will read your business plan, but at least your core executive team members will. And it just helps them get up to speed and be consistent and in alignment with like where you're going and what you're building and why you're doing it this way. And so I encourage everybody to, in honor of National Business Plan Month, get out there, work on your business plan, jump on our webinar in 10 days, 11 days, the second Thursday of the month, and write that business plan in 60 minutes. It's going to be awesome. It's going to be a lot of fun. And as a bonus, we'll even review it for you and give you feedback. So for any of the business owners out there that have been wanting to get this done, now's the time. So Erin, any final comments before we wrap up for today?
Well, no, I think that's it. I just want to second what you're saying there and encourage everybody to get your business plans going. Start 2021 like on the right foot so you have a plan for the entire year. I love that. I love what you're going to do. I love the review. So it takes the scary factor out, right? So you have somebody there to help you through it and know that it's clear and concise, and you can hand it to your team members. You can follow it yourself. You know where you're going.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. So I'm hopeful that everybody's going to get registered and we are going to have a great time. And Erin, once again, thank you for jumping on. I know this isn't your normal role, jumping in front of the camera and jumping on social media, but so much fun. And yes, you guys, we're, all about helping business owners get their business plan written in 60 minutes. And you're going to get not only a business plan in the works, but you can get it reviewed for free. We're here to help you. Our mission is to help busy business owners build those thriving, profitable businesses with systems. So, Erin, thank you again for joining me and for talking about business planning.
Thank you so much for having me.
All right. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Have a great rest of your week.